I need to make more content, more consistently, because I don't have enough. And then the way everything is unfolding in the world, it seems almost essentially impossible to become not just successful, but wealthy, extremely successful, without being somewhat of a internet person, where most of your life is within the internet and on your phone or computer or your Apple Watch for all you fancy bozos. Because some things have been going on with my folks, and it just made me realize that going to college to get a fucking piece of paper with your name on it that you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for during and after the fact. And it's like, going to college only really works when you are either white, you're rich, or you're dumb, Now, genuine success is something that is not gained quickly, as anyone who's actually successful would know. It's lifetime work. And college no longer is able to provide that, because not only does first of all, majority of college has been ingrained with this new education system that simply is not beneficial to anyone except the previous generation. And I don't mean millennials. I'm talking about fucking Gen X and baby boomers. They are the ones getting all the gravy from this. And the younger generations are just like, we can make it fucking work, as fuck it. This is all we got. This is all we know. So we're gonna fucking make it work. And that's how you'll see niggas like the AMP niggas or Aiden Ross or any of these fucking other people doing things, because it's like all they can do. And the unfortunate issue of this new regime when it comes to building yourself as a individual is majority of people truly lack. And when I say lack, I don't mean that they're lesser of a person. I just mean that there are people who are, like, say, take an influencer, for example. There are people who are successful, and then there are people who are entertaining. Majority of influencers are not entertaining. Not even close. I mean, if you look, you can go on literally any of the social medias, and majority of influencers all have the same setup. Most of them are women. Most of them have OnlyFans. Most of them have podcasts where all they do is bitch and moan with their girlfriends and talk shit about every man on earth except the man they're fucking, of course, right? Because you're getting fucked by that nigga, so naturally your brain is under the impression that Buddy is different. And it's just another example of why things are just getting out of hand, honestly. The blueprint for success for a long time, at least in American standards, has been you finish up school, you go to college, get a degree, get a job, and then eventually that job might pan out into a career that you actually like doing. But by the time that happens, all the fun all the things, all the fun things in life are past you, and you're at a point where it's like you don't even care about doing those things anymore because you done spent majority of the energy in your life on this career path. And I heard this in one of those manifestation videos the other day that said, because when you form something when you have a behavior and it becomes a habit, you will eventually convince yourself that this is for the best, even though it's not. You know, I used to work at the post office, and there are people who've been working there since the 90s, and they're under the impression that that's cool, and they're still working there. So it just doesn't make any sense. So it's like, it makes sense why these people do these things. Because back to what I was saying, where majority of these people aren't entertaining. You know, you'll have streamers, like some of the streamers are entertaining, sure. But if you look at, I saw a clip I seen a video of not Soluminati, but it was this Jamaican nigga, Don. He was watching a video of him. And what So is basically saying is that he is too old to be fucking with these IRL streamer niggas. Because they're all doing like crazy, goofy YN shit and the way that nigga's going, he not fucking with none of that. You feel me? Them niggas is down here and bro's on his steady incline. Not even, just straight elevator action, just straight up. And then Don, he agreed with him kinda, but he said the same thing, where it's like, if you were gonna do the streaming thing or the YouTube thing or the OnlyFans thing or the private Snapchat or the TikTok or if you're on fucking Kick, whatever that is. I thought that was just like a group chat for black kids in 6th grade. That's how they described it when it first came out. Unless that's a different thing than this new thing or whatever. And you gotta remember that these people they've allowed the idea of being an influencer to corrupt their ideals to the point where they eventually end up having to backtrack and abandon all of their original morals, and then they gotta do fucking apology tours on why, I used to think like that, and now I think like this, because when you should have just, yes, as people, we're supposed to constantly change and adapt and evolve, but the morals and the values you hold should stay constant for a majority of your life, because once those start to change, then you become a lot more malleable. You allow things that you wouldn't have allowed. The same way a woman will sit up here and whine about how her baby daddy is trash or he ain't shit. But if that nigga wanted to, that nigga could be beating her ass and stealing her money and doing wild shit to anybody. That bitch still gonna let him fuck. Not even a real question. Let that man fucking heartbeat, half a heartbeat. Don't let that nigga be tall neither. It's over with. I'm kinda tall. I'm not too tall. I'm not fucking Shaq ass nigga. I can knock a Shaq ass nigga out. But I'm not like, you feel me? I personally never gave too much of a fuck about that. But, because it's always just been like, you're having to work with that. And I'm somehow still me. I have more aura than you. recently stopped working because my boss, he was getting on the verge of firing me, just giving me shit for no reason. And they fired my other boss, the cool, chill guy. And it's like, oh, y'all just line it up, aren't you? Y'all just think I'm gonna sit there and let it rock. So I had to step off, and now I'm trying to figure out, I'm on Indeed, but it's not really Indeed. It's like, it's Indeed for actors and models or whatever. So I'm gonna try to start doing that, because that's something, if you've seen me before, if you know me, if you've seen my face ever in your life, then you 100%, without a shred of doubt in your soul, know I am the most entertaining motherfucker you will ever meet. You feel me? You could not like me at all, but there's no way we can be in the same room for 5 minutes and I say something that you don't find funny. Because I've always been that guy. That's why motherfuckers have always found ways to be mad at me for being who I am. And it's like, those are all fears and insecurities you're projecting onto me because you don't have the ability to entertain anyone. And that's how you end up being the streamer who is like saying controversial things and doing goofy, wild things all the time. Or like, constantly talking bad about an entire demographic, or doing crazy shit like fucking dressing up like a grand wizard, but you wore black robes instead of the white, or making a video of you with another individual doing 18 plus things, and then 10 years, 20, 15 years down the line, you're talking about, I regret that. It was the worst thing I ever did. It was the most disrespectful thing I ever did to my daughter. Da 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 da. But bro, didn't you profit off that for that entire time? And aren't you still profiting off that? I mean, if it was truly that dreadful and terrible of an experience to you, why are you even talking about it? Like, the second Buddy brought that up, you should have just been like, bro, we not talking about that. Feel me? If you really didn't fuck with it like that, which we all know isn't the case, that nigga was like, any motherfucker who does, what we call it, sex work, and then years later they're talking about how they regret it, it's bullshit. It's always bullshit. Because you can see the look on their face. And when they're doing that shit, that's how they genuinely feel. And yeah, they might change their opinion, but they're still the same person inside. But because of the way the world is now, if they hold the same opinion that they still held, they're going to be considered toxic and this and this and that, and all these words that no longer have any actual meaning because you hear them all the time. Yeah. I'm just gonna make more content. I gotta go out, start making content, start doing goofy things, and that's something else. I've never been a goofy nigga for anyone other than me. Every bad thing that would be considered bad that I have done was purely for my entertainment. I'm going to be extremely successful at some point, and when that happens, surely all the controversial things that I've done will come out, especially that thing I did in my junior year of high school. It was fun, and my answer is going to be the same. It was funny when I did it then, it's funny now, and it's going to be funny in 10 years when someone asks me about what I did in high school in junior year. So, I'm just going to do what I do best. You know? And these things, they take time, but they always come, one way or another. And controversial things have become the bread and butter of society, and which is like, I guess, okay. I don't give a fuck. Because me, as a person, as me, like I said, every controversial thing I will ever do was probably because I was like, that will probably be pretty funny. Especially when they get mad at me about it. So, those kind of things just don't seem, they're just not, like, irrelevant. Because the only reason because cancel culture, the only reason anyone gets canceled is because there are hundreds of thousands of people who have made decisions at the behest of other people that have led them into a downward spiral, and they have no choice but to sit up here and bitch about your decisions because they couldn't make your decision because they could never get the chance to even make that decision anyway. They don't get the chance to have the choices I have. So instead, they're just gonna act like I'm the problem. And so first thing I need to do is find more hoes to make videos with, specifically for thumbnails. And when I say hoes, I don't mean a general term for women. I mean the she-hoens, the town bicycle. The sure thing. Anyone know who the sure thing is, know the sure thing. You feel me? So, yeah. I'm up right now, and all I do is go up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. All the way up.